Hey everyone, welcome back to Paul's Model Works. And today I'm going to make a video to share with you guys a few different things and to share with some of my subscribers a couple of different things as well. And so first of all, I wanted to give you guys an update on where I'm at with the Henry J and let you guys see the small amount of work I've got done on that. And then we're going to talk a little bit about some of the glues I use and a little bit about the paint that I've been using lately. So anyway, let me get out of the way and show you guys what I've got going on here. Okay, so here's where I am at with the Henry J. Doesn't look like very much progress, but I have done, I think, a good amount of work. I've just got it mocked up right now, so you guys can just sort of see what, it looks like all together. But I'm gonna just show you guys here what I have done. So last time you guys saw this, the hood wasn't on the car, but you can see there that it tilts and everything. And last time I had also started work on this hood because it was a 5-piece hood. So I'm gonna take it off here. All right, here we go. Scoot this back some. And you can see that I have started sanding the hood down. I think it's pretty smooth at this point. I think it's ready for some primer to lay down on there and just see what else I still need to fix and everything. But there it is, all sanded down, and I think it's actually going to not be that bad. I mean, just running my fingers over all the seams, they feel really smooth and everything. So I used the Tamiya, filler putty, sanding putty for this, and I really like that stuff. I was using the Tester's putty before, but I picked up some of that Tamiya putty, and it's the gray putty, and it really does a good job. I think it's maybe a little bit harder to sand out than the Tester's putty, but it holds together really good, and it doesn't shrink as much as the Tester's putty does. So anyway, there is the hood. Oop. And then the body has just been sanded down, and all the mold lines and everything have been taken out of it. The undercarriage still needs to be cleaned up. As you can see, it still has, if I can show you here, there we go, it still has the markings, Revell's trademarks. And it still has some of the injection mold holes and stuff like that that need to be cleaned out. And then I have the firewall mocked up in there. It still needs to be cleaned up a bit. I haven't taken the little braces out of the side right here. I'm waiting to do that until I actually get ready to paint the car, just because, they give it extra strength. And with my luck, I would probably end up crushing it. So I'm going to leave those in there for now. But I did want to show you guys, this is where I have actually done a lot of work, is on the chassis. Last time you guys seen this, the chassis was actually in white primer, and this time I actually have the chassis pretty much done and painted and everything. This is the motor, which at this point I'm not sure if I'm going to actually use the kit motor. Reason for that is I did a little bit of research, and it's a 427 Ford big block, and the kit motor is just not that detailed, and it just doesn't look that good, to be totally honest with you. So I'm thinking about using a 427 from another kit that I have, possibly maybe the AC Cobra that's got a 427 in it, or something period correct on that. So that's what I'm thinking. But I have this in here just for mock-up and everything at the moment. Okay, so I changed angles and lenses here so you guys can hopefully see this just a little bit better. You have to excuse me, I have the door open so that I can get a little better light back here. So if there's any traffic noise, sorry about that. But here is the chassis. You can see there that it's pretty weathered up. I used the salting method on this. And I've been poring over Dr. Cranky's book that he has out about painting and weathering and everything, just to see, what his methods were. So I tried some of those out, and they actually turned out good for me. You can see there. And then on the flip side, there we go. There's this side. So it turned out good. There's the radiator. I've still actually got a little bit of salt to clean off of it, which you can see there. And front chassis. So I think everything looks pretty good. I think it turned out really nice. I'm really happy with how it turned out. So that is pretty much where I am at on the Henry J as of now. And I'm going to try and get the body and everything in paint this week, so y'all can see how that's going to be, and so I can see how it's going to turn out. So anyway, but I wanted to talk about a couple other things here. And there is a YouTuber by the name of Rusty K, the Model Car Student. Excuse me. If you haven't had a chance to check out his channel, I definitely recommend that you check it out. He is doing some fantastic work, and like all of us, he is, or all of us have been, he is a new guy to not just the modeling community, but to modeling in general. And so he has had some questions, and I know that the community has been great in helping him out. But I wanted to share a little bit about what glues I have that I use, because that was one of his questions that he was talking about. So these are, for the majority part, most of the glues that I actually use. So I've got, all my different glues here. Of course, I've got just the regular old testers, tube glue, which, is a good glue. It has its purpose, so I definitely use this for some different things, especially, just gluing plastic to plastic before you've got any paint on stuff, anything like that. This is actually a pretty decent glue to use. Then I have my super glue of choice, or CA glue. This is the Slow Zap Thick CA glue, and it's a slow cure. And then I also have the spray bottle here of accelerator for it, the zip kicker. Most of the time I don't use it, but if I've got a part that I just need to get glued and I'm trying to get stuff done, then I'll go ahead and put a little bit of this glue on there and then put the spray on there, and it just makes it instantly bond up. I wouldn't recommend it all the time though, just because sometimes you need to move your pot around a little bit while it's gluing, and this kind of makes the glue harden up a little too quick sometimes, I feel like. And then I have a bottle here of, this is just the Testors plastic cement. It's just the real thin, glue that comes with a brush inside, a lot like the Tamiya, cement. And so I use that, for a lot of different stuff, especially when I am gluing flat pieces together or small seams. Sometimes I'll use that. Then I have the Testors clear part cement. That's pretty good, of course, for windows, headlight lenses, and all that different stuff. And then good old Elmer's glue. Always keep a bottle of Elmer's glue around. It's good for windows. It's good for headlights, clear stuff. It's actually just good sometimes just to use to glue in interior details. I use it for a lot of my license plates, things like that. It's a lot stronger than what you think it is, and it actually holds up pretty good. But one thing I use to keep my glue, and one thing that Rusty was saying was that when he put glue on, a lot of times he ran into the issue of glue making a mess. So what I use is I've just got this old lid here. I'll squirt a little bit of glue on it, and then I got a toothpick, and I'll just pick a little bit of glue off, and then I can just put that, right on my part. If it's on the edge of a part or something like that, I can just take a little bit of that and then rub it on the part, and I can control where it goes with the toothpick. And that's pretty much a lot of times how I apply most of my glue. You know, a lot of your bottles, especially these things or even this stuff, has really, you know, wide holes in it, so you get a lot of glue coming out. I never really have good luck with the fine tip applicators that you can put on there, so this is what works for me, and it allows me to put it on how I want, so that's how I like doing it. So hopefully that helps you out, Rusty. Kind of share a little bit of what I use, and maybe, you know, you can try it out if it works for you. If it doesn't, you know, hopefully you'll figure out something that'll work for you, but that's what I do. So next thing I want to talk about is some of the paints that I have been using lately. These are just, you know, folk art, just regular old craft acrylic paint. Actually, the chassis of the Henry J that I'm working on is painted right here with this kind of paint. These are all the colors that I used on it. You know, your base rust colors, and then your brown or your grays and blacks, and you know, you can just mix them up and get pretty much any color you need. And I actually thin them down with acrylic paint thinner, or the, you know, it's the Tester's acrylic paint or whatever it is you can get from Hobby Lobby. It's just their paint airbrush thinner that they have. That's what I use, and so it seems to do a good job of thinning it down, but also it seems to do a pretty good job of retarding the paint so that it doesn't dry so quickly. That's one thing I did find when I just used washer fluid or water. The paint seemed to dry very quickly, and so that caused problems with airbrushing because it would dry up inside the airbrush, and then I'd have to constantly keep cleaning it to be able to keep spraying. So it seems like if you use the right type of thinner, that it does the right job, especially on these craft paints. You know, I don't really know if some of the other brands are just as good or not. I've just been buying the folk art mainly because it's the best brand that Hobby Lobby sells, and they're still relatively cheap. I mean, you're talking like $1.39 or something like that for a bottle, and half the time you can get them for 30% off because they're always on sale like every other week, seems like. So they're relatively cheap, but they seem to thin down really good. They seem to have small pigments in them and everything, so you know, if you want to try craft paints, then try the folk art brand. They're pretty good. And then finally, last thing, the Iwata Neo airbrush. I know I've had some people ask me about this, and I told y'all that I was going to do a little review on it after I had done some painting with it. So I have painted on a couple of models. I painted some parts on my funny car that I just did, and then I did this whole chassis for this Henry J with this airbrush, and I'm gonna have to say that I am very pleased with it. You know, it's a good little airbrush, and you know, it's inexpensive. There's definitely better airbrushes out there that you can get, but I am more than happy with how this one has performed. You know, like I showed you before, it's a dual action: push down for air, pull back for paint, and you have your cup up here. It's a gravity feed, but I found that it has a really nice fine spray pattern, so I really like that because it helps, you know, just with a little bit of more detailing. I don't know how well it will do with painting a whole entire body. I have not tried that yet, as far as, you know, doing one solid color on a body, but if it doesn't, you know, I have my other airbrush, which is good for that. So but I will definitely be giving this that one some more usage and seeing how well it does for everything. So if you guys are wanting to get that Iwata Neo, then definitely go out and grab it. It's a pretty good airbrush. If you live in the US and you've got a Hobby Lobby near you, they carry them there, and you can use the 40% off coupon for it that they have every week. If you got a smartphone, you can download their app and you get the coupon on there. Just go in, and I think it's 69 bucks, 40% off. It's like 40 bucks or something like that, so it's a really good deal. So anyway, but yeah, that's where I'm at on everything, and that's what's been going on in or on my bench, and just wanted to share with you guys all this stuff. I'm going to post some pictures up real quick of the chassis of the Henry J, and then I'll be out of here.